All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. So today is episode 117, and this is going to be part one of a series of relatively short videos where I will show you guys the way around, or my way around TradingView, and it's pretty much going to be like the basics on TradingView. All right, so as you guys can see right now, we do have QQQ pulled up here on TradingView. That's here, right? So this is the ticker symbol for the ETF QQQ, right? The chart that it's on is the daily chart, right? We're using candles. This is, what you would use to add indicators, but that's something that I advocate against, especially when you're starting out. You want to learn the basics and the fundamentals. You should be able to draw a line, connect your areas, identify different levels, and then I think you could start to use some indicators for, like, confirmation or what's the word? Confluence. All right. So primarily today, we're going to be just looking at this particular section here, which is the left-hand section of TradingView, and this area just has a bunch of different drawing tools. So in a nutshell, what trading is identifying areas of interest, meaning price action that's an area of interest previously, to see if it will go back to that area. So in a nutshell, that's what trading is for me. And the best way to do this is to use the charts. The most popular system out there is TradingView, and that's what I use. So I'll just be showing you guys some of the basics of what I do today. So first up on the list here on the left hand side, we do have the cursor, right? Now you see a little arrow beside it. If you click it, it gives you different options. So you could change the cursor to different options. So you have the cross, which it's on standardly, right? This is the cross. You could select the dot, and then now it will be a dot. And if you go back here and you go ahead and select arrow, it'll just be an arrow, all right? Just like a mouse. And then the last one here, you have the eraser, which you can select this as well. I usually don't mess with this, so I just use the standard cross. For some people, some people use the point because, it's more precise. I like the cross. It is what it is. All right, then next up, we are going to have the trend line tool. All right, so this is the tool that you would use to draw your trend lines. All right, so with this tool, all you have to do is click on it, right? Let's say we want to identify this area. So we would click on it and we would drag it up, right? It touches one touch there. So now we have two touches. Comes up again, it has another touch. All right, so for me, trend line needs to be a minimum of, say, 2 to 3 touches. All right, so you go ahead and click here and we have a trend line. 1 touch, 2, 3, 4. So there's a definite trend in terms of the direction the candles are moving in, and it's trending up. All right, so in this particular case, these are what you call lows. So these touches, because this trend line is on the underside, right? So these are what you call lows. So there's the first low, and we have a higher one, then it goes higher, and it goes higher, right? And a higher low indicates that the stock is moving up. All right, so this would be considered a bullish trend. Now, the thing with this type of trend line, right, and I set it up this way. So I'll have the trend line here selected. When the trend line is selected, you'll notice that there's a little pop-up window here, right? With this little pop-up window, you have different options. You could change the color, which I have it set to yellow. You could set the width of the line, and you could set it to a broken line like what I have here. So it just looks like little dashes. If we go ahead and select this, I could select it and it would be a straight yellow line. All right, I could select this option and I could change the color to whatever. All right, for now, we're just going to leave it the way it is, which is on yellow, and then it's dotted. All right, now let's say the asset price starts to move and it passes and it gets to this area. Then all you would have to do is just go ahead and extend the trend line out to that area. All right, so that is your basic trend line. Now, a way to get around this is to use a different type of trend line, which we're going to explore, which just allows you to draw an infinite line. All right, and it's actually more accurate with this line because you can move it around. Sometimes it's not as straight or as level as you need it to be, especially if you're drawing like a horizontal line. All right, now let's go ahead and explore saving lines into like pretty much like templates. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna have this line. So you would deselect it, the pop-up window goes away. You go ahead and click on it again, the pop-up window comes back. So let's go ahead now and we're gonna make this line dotted, right? Well, let's make it a little bit thicker. So we're gonna go 3 inches and we're gonna change this from dashes and we're gonna go with a dotted line. All right, now the color, we're gonna go ahead and change that to red, right? And what we're gonna call this is, we're gonna say this is an ascending line, right? Higher low descending line. So we'll call it something like, higher low DS. Sorry, AS, ascending line, because it's higher lows, but it is ascending. It's going up. All right. So to do that, we would go ahead and we would click on templates here, and we could say save drawing as a template. And then we could call this, we would say ascending line, right? And we're gonna say HL for higher low, and we hit save. All right, so this template is now assigned to this particular line, right? So if we go here and we see it saved, we have it here. Now we could remove it at any time, but I just want to show you something else. So let's say we go ahead now and we draw another line like this, right? So we could go ahead and go back to the trend line here. We have another ascending line here, right? And we drag, it's automatically there, right? So we have, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We have, on this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, right? This one almost touches. So this is another ascending line, right, with higher lows. Now, let's say we go ahead and we change this color to green, and we change this back here to like a regular line. But then we go, what are we doing? This is a little bit confusing. This is an ascending line with higher lows. So let's go ahead and we just go back here to the template, and we could just select the template, and it automatically puts it back to the previous design, which is this one. All right, so that's using templates with lines. As you guys could see, it's very helpful. So let's go ahead now, and we're gonna go ahead and just go ahead and remove everything here. So we're gonna click the delete button here on the left, and then it's gonna say, well, actually, you know what? Let's not do that, because if we do this, it's gonna remove my logo, and I don't want to do that just now. I'll show you guys how to do that later. So go ahead and just select the line, hit delete, and we'll select the line here, and we go ahead and we hit delete. All right, so as I showed you guys with the previous examples, when you decide to draw this trend line, if the candles start to move ahead, you would have to then click it and start to drag again. So I'll show you guys right now. All right, so let's say we're going with a horizontal line here. Let's say we start the line right about here. So we drag, notice it's going up and down. It's not very level. All right, so that's our line. So let's go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and put this back to yellow and make it a dash line. All right, but that's our line right there. Let's also adjust the point here. So I'm going to go to 2, so it's a little thinner because the candles are small. All right, so we go ahead now and we'll see. It's not the most accurate line. This one seems to be pretty flat, but believe me, when the candles start to like drag on beyond the screen and you have to drag it across, it just gets, it starts to get crooked, and with this type of lines, you want to try and be as accurate and as crisp and as sharp as possible. All right, so that this now is what we call a horizontal line. And as you can see, again, we have touches here. So we have 1 touch, 2, 3. All right, so this constitutes enough for me, which would indicate a line, right? So we could call this a trend line because, like I said, it has 2 to 3 touches at the most. Now, we can go ahead now and establish another line on top, and then this would make it a channel. So you could go ahead and click up here, right? Say right about here. Boom, boom, boom. We go ahead and hit trend line, click here, right? Because right about here is where I see some touches. Say about here. All right. So we go ahead and click this and we drag. Right? Notice how it's just like up, it's slanting. It's not the most accurate, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches on this line. So now between here and here is what these 2 lines would form what is called a channel. All right. So a channel involves 2 areas. You have your support area, which is where the price would come down, touch this area, and then go all the way up. Now, when it meets this area at the top, this top line is going to be called resistance. So support and resistance. All right, so let's go ahead and just document that. So we could click the text tool and we could just call this line support. And then at the top of this line here, we'll click the text tool again and we'll call this resistance. All right. So we'll just keep it here. So this is pretty much how it works. So here we are, we're at support, touches support, goes back up, boom, 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 comes down a little bit, boom, 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 goes back up, touches resistance, and what does it start to do? Come back down, goes back up, touches, and then here we have the big rundown. So touches resistance, bounces off resistance, just like a ball, boom, 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 comes back down again, touches support, and starts to go back up. But this time, it does not respect the resistance. It breaks through it and creates now what is called a new level. All right. So that's just some basics that you guys should follow. The plays are usually going to be, for me, when you're buying calls, you want to be buying at support. I would play it all the way up until it gets close to resistance. Then I would sell and get out. Likewise, if you're buying puts, I would buy it when it's at the top of resistance, it's bounced, and come back down, catch it all the way down to here, and I would sell just before it touches the support line. All right, so that's the limitation as far as the lines are concerned. You have to manually draw these lines. They're not, exactly sharp and balanced, but we could get rid of these lines, and I'll show you guys now how to get a proper straight line. So I'm going to click this, and we're going to hit the delete button. Go ahead and click this one as well, and we're going to hit the delete button. All right, so let's go back to this, the trend line tool. Now this little arrow on the edge here, we're going to click that, and we're going to scroll down here to what is called the horizontal line tool, right? Because that's what we want to be drawing. So for the horizontal line tool, right, we're going to click here, boom, and it automatically draws a horizontal line, right? And right here, notice it shows it as a green line. Now, I didn't make any changes, but the reason for that is because I already plotted the first line and I draw it. It's automatically going to be green, which is the support line, which indicates that the stock is going to be going up, right? typically after it touches this line or comes in the general area of this line. So that's why this line is green. For those of you who are new to my channel is a Hulk theme channel. You know, I've always liked the Hulk since I was a kid. I used to watch the original show. I watched the cartoons. I bought all the comic books. I've had some of the rare comic books, the Hulk versus Wolverine. I had that comic book as well, the original. So I'm a big Hulk fan. So I've changed the colors on my charts to be purple for David Banner, which represents when the stock is bearish, and green for Hulk, meaning Hulk smash when the stock is on go or it's bullish. All right, so my support lines are going to be green because that's when you want to buy the calls for it to go. And then my resistance lines, you guys could guess it, would probably be purple. So we could draw another line here, or we could just select this line, right? So when we select the line, now we could come back up here to the pop-up and we could right click on this little dotted area here and we could choose clone the line. And it's automatically going to populate the same line. So what we want to do now is move it back up to where we had these resistance touches, right? Say right around here. So now we have support and we do have resistance. But notice our resistance line is green. What color should it be? Should be purple, right? So we're going to go back up here and we're going to click on our templates and we're going to say, click this save template, which is resistance line. Notice when I click it, now it automatically turns to purple. All right. So that's pretty much how you would draw your straight lines on TradingView. Like I said, this was just a short video which just shows you guys some of the basics on getting going with the drawing tools on TradingView. All right, I don't want to make this video too long, but part 2 is going to be coming shortly. And in part 2, we're going to dig a little bit deeper and explore some more of the tools on this side. All right. If you did find this information useful, guys, please consider subscribing. I make new videos like this every day. Please go ahead and also like this video and share this video with a family member or friend. Thanks again for watching. Y'all stay safe and have a blessed day. Peace.